In the heart of Europe, a political storm is brewing. Germany's democracy, hailed as a post-war miracle, is now facing one of its gravest internal tests since reunification. A party once dismissed as fringe is now the second largest force in parliament, and it's just been branded a threat to the very constitution it claims to defend. The intelligence services say it's extremist. The AfD says it's a witch hunt. And now the courtroom becomes the battlefield in a fight that could redraw the lines of German politics forever. Is this justice or political warfare? Germany's second-largest political party has launched an aggressive legal counteroffensive after being labeled extremist by the country's intelligence service. The Alternative for Germany, known as AfD, filed both a lawsuit and an emergency petition with the administrative court in Cologne on May 5th, challenging its designation as a confirmed right-wing extremist organization. With our lawsuit, we are sending a clear signal against the abuse of state power to combat and exclude the opposition party. Co-leaders Tino Crew, Paula and Alice Weidel declared in a joint statement alleging that the classification represents an effort to distort democratic competition and delegitimize millions of votes. The designation announced May 2nd by the Federal Office for the Protection of the Constitution. BFV allows authorities to employ heightened surveillance measures against the party, including phone tapping and deploying undercover agents. The intelligence agency justified its decision by citing the party's xenophobic, anti-minority, Islamophobic, and anti-Muslim statements from leading officials claiming the AfD disregards human dignity through its ongoing agitation against refugees and migrants. This dramatic development has sparked an unusual diplomat row with the United States, where President Trump's administration has publicly criticized the German decision. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio called on Germany to reverse course, describing the move as tyranny in disguise. Vice President J.D. Vance, who met with AfD leader Alice Weidel after February's elections, claimed the party was by far the most representative in Eastern Germany, adding that now the bureaucrats try to destroy it. Germany's foreign ministry delivered an unusually direct rebuke responding to Rubio on social media. This is democracy. The ministry emphasized that the decision resulted from a thorough and independent investigation to protect our constitution and the rule of law, adding pointedly that we have learned from our history that right-wing extremism needs to be stopped. The AfD, which secured second place in Germany's February federal elections with nearly 21% of the vote, claims the timing. One day before conservative leader Friedrich Merz becomes chancellor, represents a politically motivated attempt to undermine its growing popularity. Despite calls from some politicians to ban the AfD entirely. Germany's incoming Interior Minister, Alexei Dobrindt, has expressed skepticism about such drastic measures. Speaking to Air Television, Dobrindt suggested the intelligence agency's assessment likely falls short of meeting the constitutional threshold required for an outright prohibition. I'm skeptical because the aggressive, combative nature of the party against our democracy must be a defining characteristic. The Constitutional Court was right to set high hurdles for banning a party. The Constitutional Court requires a party to demonstrate it is acting combative, early and aggressively to achieve its aims for a ban to be justified, a standard Dobrindt believes has not been met. I'm convinced that the AfD does not need to be banned. It needs to be governed away. And we need to talk about the issues that have made the AfD so big. This view was echoed by SPD leader Lars Klingbeil, who told Bild am Sonntag that the future government would work to diminish the AfD's influence. What I don't believe is that a potential ban procedure, which could take years, is the sole instrument to bring the AfD down. Meanwhile, the AfD remains defiant. Co-leader Alice Weidel accused outgoing Interior Minister Nancy Faeser of weaponizing the intelligence agency as a secret justice system to undermine the party. We are a future governing party. Even the machinations of the secret justice system will not be able to prevent that in the long run. The extremist designation adds to controversy surrounding the AfD, whose the ringleader viewing Hooker has twice been convicted for using banned Nazi slogans. As the debate intensifies within Germany. The Russian government has deliberately avoided taking sides in the controversy. When asked about Berlin's designation of the AfD as an extremist organization, Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov offered a carefully measured response. This is an internal matter for Germany, and we have neither the right nor the intention to interfere. The Kremlin's restraint is notable, given the AfD's history of Russia-friendly positions and opposition to Germany's stance on the Ukraine war, where Berlin serves as Ukraine's second-largest weapons supplier after the United States in June. On one hand, of course, this is an internal German affair, and as we have neither the right nor the intention to interfere there. But the European political landscape itself is now full of various restrictive measures against those political forces and individuals who do not fit their worldview into the dominant mainstream. The classification of Germany's second-largest political party is extremist threatens to fundamentally alter the nation's political landscape. German authorities can now subject AfD officials to unprecedented surveillance, potentially exposing internal operations and deterring supporters concerned about monitoring beyond surveillance. The AfD faces marginalization in parliament. The extremist label gives mainstream parties justification to block the party from chairing key committees, diminishing its legislative influence. Civil servants with AfD affiliations could face dismissal, further reducing its institutional footprint. Friedrich Merz's incoming government faces a strategic dilemma. Some conservatives argue for treating the AfD normally to avoid fueling its anti-establishment narrative, while others support isolation. This tension will force all parties to recalibrate their approaches to immigration and national identity. The extremist label stigmatizes the AfD in ways that could permanently alter its trajectory. Moderate voters may shun a party officially deemed extremist, while the AfD might successfully exploit the designation as evidence of establishment persecution, energizing its base and attracting protest votes. This watershed decision will test Germany's democratic institutions and shape its political landscape for years to come. Whether the AfD's support holds or erodes under pressure will determine if German politics becomes increasingly polarized or if the far right's influence gradually wanes.